Good morning, everyone. This is Carrie calling from the Traverse City office, coming to you from my new computer, my new MacBook Pro, so bear with me. I'm hoping not to have any technical difficulties. JD is headed over to the Leadership Summit in Chicago to learn all about our rebrand and some of the new tools the brand is coming out. So he is on the road this morning. So you're stuck with me. We are going to be talking about Google Drives and Google Calendars and some of the opportunities that we have for collaboration, which is our new core value that you've probably seen popping up in places. So let's jump right in. As always, we're going to keep everyone on mute. So if you have a question, go ahead and type me in the chat, or if it's complicated, let me know and I can unmute you as long as you have a mic. So let's make it a great day. We're going to start with drives. Now, as we've been going through the Gsuite admin site, we've been noticing that some staff don't have the business license associated with it, and instead they have basic. So Sarah's been helping me out with that, Judy, Gary, and Vanessa, and Lori. So if you notice that you don't have over here, when you go to your Google Drive, if it doesn't say shared drives, shoot me a note, let me know. We just have to move you from basic to business. And that's simply during migration, some of them just got missed. So to launch Drive, you can go here to your dot matrix and pick Drive. Obviously, I'm logged in as my Schmidt family of companies email. So you should see Drive there. And again, just like CB Exchange, these are able to be dropped and dragged however you want them. So it may not be in the exact same spot that you're seeing mine, but keep in mind you do have that opportunity to drop and drag them wherever you want. So if you use something more frequently, you can move it to the top. If you don't use it as frequently, you can drag that to the bottom, out of sight, out of mind, right? So again, if you are in your drive and you don't see shared drives, that means that you're on basic, not business. The difference is the unlimited amount of storage that you get with business and also the ability to do these shared drives here. So let us know if you don't see that and we will get it added to your account. Now, obviously, this needs to be your Schmidt family of companies email address that you're logged into. So CB Great Lakes, CB Schmidt, Ohio, CB Florida, CB SMFL, or cbparadise.com. St. Croix, if you're on, we do have to figure out what we're going to do with your accounts because you're not quite on the same system. You have G Suite, but you're not part of the Suffolk family yet. So we will get you on there. Susan, go ahead and shoot me an email. I have a very short memory these days, so I will not remember after the fact. So Susan, if you could just shoot me an email and I'll get you added. So you can see my drive is here. I am the proud new owner of an entire Google Drive. I've moved away from Dropbox. I encourage you, if you have a company Dropbox account, we do want to move over to Drive. We're trying to move away from Dropbox as a company to save the $99 a license per year. So we do ask that you get moved over to Dropbox or to Drive. I put it off longer than I should have. It was super not painful at all. I just had to let it sit and move over. It took about, I don't know, 6 hours to get all my documents over, but here they are. So I do encourage you, if you're on a company Dropbox, to move everything over to Drive. And it's a simple copy, paste, or drop and drag. It's really not that difficult. The part that is a little bit more difficult is getting your drive onto your actual system. So I am on a Mac, so I'm going to open my Finder. And you can see here that I have my Google Drive loaded onto my system. This will allow me to access it when I don't have internet access. It allows me to keep a copy on my local system, which I like for myself because it makes me a little nervous if the internet's down and I can't get to my tools. This is something that you also have to have the business license for. You're not actually able to load that onto your systems without the business license. So that's another reason to let me know if you are not seeing what you need to see. So to get that loaded onto your system, it's as simple as going to Google and you just want to add, just search for something along the lines of Google. There's those system issues I was talking about. Google Drive download. And you can see right here it says download Google Drive. It comes up with two options, personal and business. Obviously we want business, so you click get started. And then install or deploy Drive file stream. You just simply read through this and then right here whether you're on a Windows system or a Mac system, and that will walk you through being able to download your Drive onto your system. So this is the online version of my Drive. All my folders are there, but again, in case I don't have internet access or whatnot, I do have it on my local system. These sync together. So if you save something here, like I normally do, like you typically would be like saving to your desktop, if you save it into your Google Drive, it does sync over to this online version of your drive as long as you have internet connection. So if you are working offline, as soon as you connect, it's going to sync back and forth for you so that you always have the newest copy of your files. So that is a little bit of an extra step there. And we do encourage you to move away from Dropbox if you are on a company Dropbox. Nicole, good question. Yes, managers should have a business license as well. So any staff, managers, ASCs, RSCs, accounting, marketing, everybody should be on business. One of the issues that I could use some help with our managers is a lot of them are using personal email addresses, whether it be Gmail, Yahoo, AOL. We really encourage them to move over to the Schmidt Family of Companies system. It doesn't mean to say if they're doing personal business in real estate, they can't use that other. They can absolutely use that. We can forward their CB Great Lakes, CB Florida Homes, etc. to anywhere they want to go, but they really do need to be in the system in order to do these things like the shared drives, the security, that type of thing. So help your managers out if they aren't on the call. Talk to them, ask them if they're on the system, if they log in, if they have their business license, or if they have basic. Michelle out of Florida, which I hope you guys are doing good down there. Send some sunshine. We've had rain. She asked if we should copy all of our office documents to Google Drive. Yes, Michelle, that would be awesome. So instead of having to have an external hard drive or a thumb drive or backing up your systems, Drive is a perfect cloud solution to back up your files. Gone are the days of when your system crashed, you lose all your files, right? Who hasn't gone through that nightmare? So if you back up everything into the drive, that will allow you to have a copy of your files. And quite honestly, I use my mobile device just as much. So if I'm on the fly and I got to look something up, I have my drive on my phone and I'm able to access all of my documents on there. Obviously, we're not asking you to use your personal device for that system, but if you do have a company phone, you're a manager and you want to do that, then that's absolutely an opportunity as well. But good question, Michelle. Yeah, you can move over everything that's sitting on your system over to Drive, and it's a great backup. It's pretty super simple in Drive. And if you've ever used a Dropbox or whatnot, it looks the same. Let me get rid of that. So if you go to Shared Drives, right click, New Shared Drive. Simple as that. And then you can share it with people as you go. So for example, we're going to go to Test. I'm going to create that. It's working. Working. We did have reports out of Sutton's Bay of slow internet. I haven't noticed it till right then. So you can see I have not been in shared drives frequently, so it's walking me through the setup here. So I can either ask it to guide me or I can say got it and it'll go away. So this is where you would add members. If you try to add a member, say a manager is using Yahoo and you try to add them, it's going to say that they're outside of our organization, and we're cautioning you not to do that in drives. That's why we really want to keep this in our company's Gsuite account for security purposes. So if you try to add somebody that is outside of the organization, it will let you do that, but it will caution you that you are adding somebody outside of it. So you simply just start typing in names. Anybody within the company will come up. Anybody in your contacts will come up as you start typing, and then you can just add them in there, and then you can say they're a manager. They can do everything I'm doing as the creator. They can just add, edit, move, and delete files. They can be a contributor and just add files. They can be a commenter, which means that they can add notes and such to the files, or they can simply just view. As with everything on G Suite, there's usually a Learn More button, so if you have any questions, you can click on that and it'll explain it further. As you're inviting them to this, you can leave them a note so when they get the email, they know exactly what the purpose of what this is for. So this is just BlueSync training test. You can skip sending a notification. So if you're just setting this up for it to be in the back end and you don't necessarily need them to know that you've invited them, you can skip sending that email. But I'm going to go ahead and send it. And then he'll be notified that he was added to this shared drive. And you can see there now it says 2 members. You can always go and look and see who the members are. You can always add more members as you move on or whatnot. So now that that shared drive is there, it's going to show up in my Google Drive. And it'll show up in JD's Google Drive as well. And now you can add files, drop and drag files, save as files into this shared drive. And anybody that has access to it will be able to view them. It works the same way in My Drive. So if you go to My Drives, you can share any of your folders by right-clicking on it and share. You can also get a shareable link. Now this kind of works the same way with the shared drives. It will caution you if you're inviting anybody outside that organization, but sometimes it's necessary. You can also do cool things like password protect these files. You can share them with people that can only view them. You can get a shareable link so anybody with the link in the entire world can access that. Obviously, that would be for something less secure, like a marketing document or something that you want people to be able to see. So that's how Google Drives work. And again, we are asking for your help in moving away from Dropbox as a company, moving it over to Drive, using it as your cloud backup solution. Any questions you have, of course, you can always reach out to JD or myself. I do see a question here, so let me pop over quick before we move on to calendars. Michelle asked about Microsoft or Adobe products. Michelle, you're in marketing, so I don't want to screw up your system. You guys work on a different server. This would just be for your ASC world type documents. If you're keeping them in the marketing server, that's probably a good solution for you. So being that you're part of that department, your system's going to be working a little bit differently. So if you have any questions after the fact, we can chat through that. Courtney has the question here. Let me read through it quick. Okay, Courtney, we will have to take a look at that. So we can't actually set up their personal Gmail account to function the same way that their CB Schmidt Ohio would function. Their personal @gmail.com, we cannot loop them into our system, if that makes sense. They can't be part of the Schmidt family of companies Gsuite with an @gmail.com. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that afterwards. Denise asked if this will take over from online storage as well. So essentially, yes, Denise, we will be moving away from online office. As you probably have noticed, we were putting everything into schmidtresources.com. We are continuing down that train. We will be moving away from online office storage. So in your head, if you're thinking I'm going to add something to online office, go ahead and reach out to me. We can set up a shared team drive for your office so that you can dump all your documents in there, and then we can help you share that link out with your agents, because online office we will be phasing out over the next quarter. So more to that to come in the near future. Nicole pointed out that shareable links are super useful for sending a link in an email. And she had an agent info folder in their office with their phone roster and floor calendar, and she links it all to the meeting minutes and then just sends that link out to her agents. So yes, that's a great collaborative tool, Nicole, and that can work really well for your agents. So good point there. Great work on that. Michelle, just for office stuff, then yes, go ahead and dump that into the Drive file. I'm not quite sure what the question is there, Julie, about Dotloop. You can share the link. The Drive would not allow you to sign a document or anything like that. So Dotloop's separate from loading these into Drive. Sue's been using Online Office for easy access for the agents for subplats, restrictions, etc. She reached the storage in Online Office, and JD said Online Office was going away. Yeah, so start the shared drive for agents, and you can go ahead and add members with non-CB Google email addresses if it's for your office. I would just caution that you set your settings on that shareable file so that it's only people that you've added as a member and not just everybody with the link. So Sue, I can help you walk that up after the fact, or set that up after the fact if you would like, because you won't run into those storage maximum issues with Drive like you would with Online Office. So it's another reason why we're moving away from Online Office. We were restricted there. And when you're dealing with subplats and type of files like that, that is a lot, a big folder. And Michelle, we will deal with the Century 21 issue offline, because there's something that we're going to be doing there. So I'll have an update that for you shortly. We are running pretty close to 15 minutes, but I do want to touch on calendars real quick because there's been some confusion. And I myself have been using Google Hangouts quite frequently here in Michigan with our ASC and RSC huddles. We've been using Hangouts, and I think that we've had really good feedback on those. So if you have not started using them in your office yet, it's super simple to do. So here's my calendar. You can, of course, have additional calendars other than your calendar, and you can check or uncheck what you want to see or don't want to see at any one time when you're in your view. This is my standard view that I use, and I just have my full week. But of course, you can change that view here. So you can change it to just the day, week, month, year, If you want to just see the schedule, or if you want to do 4 days, whatever it might be, you have a lot of opportunity there to view it however you want to view it. I'm notorious for moving ahead in my calendar to look and then super confusing myself when I need to go back to what I'm doing today. So this little button here is super useful for me personally. I'm constantly clicking on today to make sure that I land on my right week. So to create a Google Hangout, it's simple as clicking the create button here or going into the time here. So let's say at 1 p.m. I want to go ahead and we'll discuss floor schedule. So this is what comes up when you click here, but then you just go to more options, and that will allow you to do a couple of different things that you couldn't do just from that first screen. So of course, if you want to repeat it weekly, which is what our huddles here in Michigan do, you can repeat it weekly so that it falls on that same time and same day every week. Here's where you add conferencing. So you just click that, click Hangouts Meet. It goes and does a link and a call-in number. So that can be really nice for a lot of people that don't have a mic or speakers on your office set up. There's always a call-in number with this Hangout so that you can join via your computer, via your app on a phone, or you can call in. You can add notes down here. You can link to Google Sheets, a Google Doc, whatever the documentation might be that you want to discuss on the call. You can add it to a different calendar if you're running more than one calendar. Maybe it's your office calendar you want to add it on, so you would change over to that calendar. And then here is where you can add guests. So again, just like you would add to your shared drive, if you start typing, their names are going to come up. And then if they're outside of that's my personal Gmail. So if they're outside, it's going to notify you when you click save that you are inviting somebody outside of the organization, which again is fine. That happens a lot, especially when we're dealing with other people. So here, once you click save, it'll pop that box up. But right here, you can allow the guests to modify the event if you want. You can uncheck this if you don't want to send that invite list, and you can mark it so that the other people cannot see who your guests are. So when you click save, it's going to ask you right here whether you want to send or don't send. I'm going to go ahead and click send so that the notification will come up, and here it says the following guests are from outside your organization. Are you sure you would like to invite them? And you can go ahead and click invite external guests, and it will shoot that invite to them. It'll have the Google Hangout information there, and it will put that on their calendar once they accept it. I'm not going to save though, because I don't want to spam JD with too much spam email today. So that is calendars and drives. I am sorry we went over a little bit long. The drive thing is a new tool. It is something that we're moving towards as a company. Obviously, we don't ask overnight for you to move away from what the solution is in your office currently, but we're all in this together. So as we get to set these up for your office and you have any questions, just feel free to reach out to me, and I will make sure that we jump in and help get that set up how you want it set up for your office. But again, make sure you have business for Gsuite. It's super simple to switch over your license for anybody that has admin access. So reach out to me and we'll get you updated. Please help your managers get them on business if possible. And if there's any of those questions outstanding that we didn't get to from the chat that were more office specific, feel free to reach out to me after the call. I have a couple back-to-back calls this morning, but I will get back to you early afternoon. So thank you so much for joining us. And if you have any questions, like I said, please feel free to reach out to us after the fact. JD will be at Leadership Summit for the next few days, so he may be a little bit more out of pocket than normal, but I will be here in the office to answer those questions, and we will get your offices set up on this new exciting tool. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.